So now that we have a strong understanding about the pain points of small businesses, it's time to start to think about and craft how are we going to solve those things? What's the most efficient way to do that? And let's get a good understanding of the process of our solutions so that when we're talking with our prospect, we can very clearly and succinctly tell them how we solve their problems and give them those stories and things of that nature. So I'm going to walk you through, maybe for some of you, changing your mindset a little bit, because if you've been in the marketing world very long, you're probably thinking of sales in the form of a funnel. And I'm going to start to introduce you to a different concept that I get compliments 9.5 times out of 10 by my prospects telling me no one's ever explained it to them in such a way that the way that I do it. They always are telling me how thorough it is, that now they actually grasp how it all works and why it works. And so I want to teach that to you. I want to teach you how to see the sales funnel in a completely different way, because there's a better solution for them than a sales funnel even. So open your eyes for a new perspective here. Okay, so we're all kind of familiar with the sales funnel. I'm going to touch on the basics here of the sales funnel because there's going to be some viewers that aren't less familiar with this concept, and you may need to know, unless you are pitching to a business-oriented, business-minded individual that happens to own a small business, they may have never heard of a sales funnel before. So many times I'm having to just describe the very basics of a sales funnel. So I'm going to do that here with you because I think that it's very important that you can then explain it in a very simplified way. Okay, so I always point, make a little funnel with my hands like this. It's a funnel. And at the very top is the largest section. And that very largest section is really for our cold audience, right? Oops, there we go. So it's our cold audience. So how are we going to get those new people to actually come into that small business? I'm going to actually move this here. The only way to really do that is through maybe some marketing, right? Marketing and advertising. These are two different things, right? So marketing and advertising aren't necessarily the same thing, but they have the same goal: attract new people. Okay, so it attracts people, gets their attention, makes them look at that small business, and now they went from not knowing that small business existed to knowing at least that that small business exists, right? The other thing that we want to do is then move them down the sales funnel, because they don't make a sale until they get down here. So this would be the warm audience. And the warmer audience didn't know that they existed. Now they at least know they're there. And maybe they've started to see them around more frequently, right? So they're really starting to, oh, yeah, I've heard of that place. Maybe they're hearing the name a little more frequently. But they're like, okay, yeah, I know, I'm even more familiar. So I'm going to call this warmer. I like it because this particular picture I grabbed happens to have 4. The warmer audience may have actually connected with the small business. So maybe they engaged with an advertisement. Maybe they replied to a comment on social media, but now they're starting to be engaged with them. They may have still not come in and made a purchase. I know several restaurants here in the Kansas City area who have followings of 6,000 or 10,000 people, but they're struggling to just get by. A lot of followers on there have never even made a purchase. Had they, this business would be doing just fine. So they're right down here. They're very familiar with the business. Right in around in here, but this one may have opted in for a coupon, right? Or opted in for a one-time offer. And so now they maybe have their contact information, things of that nature. And then down at the bottom, this is our hot. audience, right? And so now they maybe are ready to make that decision to actually make a purchase, go and visit, change their behavior, try something new, and that particular business is going to be the one. So this is the traditional cycle. And so there's a lot of focus, though, on the paid advertising aspect, which again brings us right into the area, and we can apply this to our own businesses, you guys. Brings us right into the area. We might be just getting started. We might not have the funds to focus on paid advertisement or know how to do it efficiently. And so we get kind of stuck because we don't have the funds to do that. So we do nothing. And so then the whole funnel system goes to, okay, it doesn't work at all. And so we want to bring small businesses out of relying on a system like this and into a more efficient sales system. So we're going to bring you, let's see, I don't use whiteboard very often. So I'm going to introduce you to this concept of a marketing flywheel. It going to have the same similar types of aspects that you're seeing over on the left, but it's way more accessible for small businesses. And we're going to talk about how this works. So attracting new customers, it's always the most expensive thing that anybody can possibly do, right? And so we need to make that as efficient for us as possible. And the concept of a marketing flywheel is that once you get the wheel turning, it should feed back into itself and power back into itself. So it spins faster and faster the longer that it's running. And when I'm pitching this a concept to them, this is what I'm doing. So getting the wheel to start turning is always the most expensive. It takes the most labor. But once it starts to turn, it starts to generate new business for your new customers for your business on repeat. And it starts to go faster and faster with more and more. And so I'm going to show you exactly how that works. And so we talk about, advertising is really important. So what part of our service solves that problem? I'm pausing as if you're going to answer that question over on the other side. It's our one-time offer, right? Our one-time offer really solves this problem. And so when I'm discussing that, I bring that part up, right? So that gets our wheel turning. We can track it. We can move our money around where it's most efficient because we're tracking different methods that we're testing. And so now we're moving it over time. Maybe we're trying 3 or 4 things, but then with data, we're moving the least efficient items, the money off of those, and applying it to the campaigns that we know are proven and are actually generating results. And so that gets this wheel not only turning, it gets turning faster and faster, and we're not wasting our money. Okay. So that's similar to how I explain that situation. The next step, though, as we grabbed their attention with an advertisement, now we need to connect with customers, right? So that's a pain point. Now notice I'm wording it as connecting with customers. I'm not jumping in with, we need to collect their contact information. That would be considered more like the feature that helps us connect with the customer, right? So collecting contact information. So we focus on the problem and take less focus on the feature, okay? So the logistics are that we're collecting that contact information. And so we want to move these people that didn't know them. This is top of funnel still up here, right? We're attracting them. They're getting them into our marketing cycle. We're connecting with them. And so we're collecting that contact information. And the next aspect that we want to do would be we want them to make a sale. Right? We want those customers that we just connected with to actually come in and make a purchase. And so what would be the feature that solves that one? Well, things that are going to help with that to make sure and ensure that happens are our reminders, right? our reminder automations. The other things that are going to help with that would be our scanner app. So this would be a great time to demonstrate that. I love to provide a QR code when I'm talking about connecting with customers so that they can have that experience of signing up for a one-time offer, signing up for that loyalty program. Okay. That way, then when I come to the sales part of this cycle in my pitch deck, then now I'm ready and prepared with my scanner app on my phone. They have the card on theirs, and I show them how easy it is to track to the dime how much money that customer made, and that our system actually track those things. So it starts to paint this picture of somebody going around the sales funnel, right? Okay, so now we've gotten them to come in. What's the next step that we want to do? We want them to come back, right? And so return visits. And so what is the features that are going to solve that and get them to be delighted, happy, and reminded constantly that they're going to come back into the business? Well, these would be our reminders. Again, automations. But in this time, I'm talking about the ones where, maybe somebody came in, but they haven't been in over a month. And we can set that timeline there specific to whatever business that you're talking about. Restaurants, that could be very frequent, especially for coffee and drinks and snacks and things, right? Fine dining established, it might not be realistic to expect your customers to come on in 2 and 3 times a month on that one. It might be spread out, but either way, these little reminders that say, hey, you haven't been in X number of days. We miss seeing you around. Looking forward to serving you again. It's just another way to tap them on the shoulder. Another way that we remind customers automatically for small businesses is with the geolocations, right? So customer goes into the different areas that we set up around the community, and they just get reminded. A nice little gentle tap on the shoulder is love how I word this, of just not giving a discount, not giving away free food. We're simply reminding them, hey, you're right around the corner, and how convenient that is, and that they want that service, right? So it starts to generate these things automatically for the customer. And I think I put this too high. So let's move this down just a little bit, because the next one I want to talk about would be feeding back. Remember, we want this to complete the circle and push through, right? We want our customers to bring in customers, right? So this would be like user-generated content. This would be like reviews and things, referrals. Okay, and so what would be the BoomerangMe feature then that goes with those? So it would be the increased boosted Google reviews, right? So hour or so after every visit and purchase made, we're going to ask them, hey, help us spread the word. Leave us a positive Google review, and put the link over there, right? Also, 2 days after any purchase, we want to remind the customers, hey, refer a friend, right? And we want to reward our loyal customer for referring friends, right? Give them an incentive to do this. And so, especially in this day and age with the focus, millennials and younger, they go straight to Google. They're looking for reviews. They're looking online for feedback on where the best place is to go and dine. And they're talking with their friends. Okay. So they're going to social media. They're going to things of that nature. So they're really looking at their peers and what their peers are doing as well. And these are all online things. So we want to encourage our current customers to take those actions. And so it's our increased reviews, our increased refer a friends that then feed back into the cycle, helping you without paying. This is how I word it, helping you attract new customers without having to invest a penny in additional advertising and marketing. So now you don't have to spend as much energy and money as you did prior, because our whole system is creating a flow or a cycle to naturally attract new customers and get them into the cycle. So the more customers we get into our program, the faster this begins to turn and turn for your small business. And when I made the shift from focusing on the funnel to the shift of focusing and teaching a marketing flywheel, right? This changed the efficiency of my pitch substantially. And so you can really start to see how the features within the BoomerangMe platform really enhances and benefits. Isn't this exciting? This is so exciting. We should make a separate video on how we could maybe apply the same concept for ourselves in our own small. Ooh, I'm making a note. Okay. So getting this going for small businesses is incredibly important. And so, yeah, apply this methodology and I guarantee you're going to get some wins. If you would like more information on the BoomerangMe platform and specifically how to excel and launch that as a profitable software as a service or agency business, then I want to connect you with my Grow Your Agency with BoomerangMe. It's free for anybody that uses my affiliate link to sign up for the BoomerangMe. You will receive a 14-day free trial. You can also save 20% off if you do decide to go for the paid version. But you'll automatically receive the Grow Your Agency with BoomerangMe course teaching you my exact process on how I actually land clients consistently from the beginning. I have no clients at all the way to warming them up and making contact with them, all the way to the pitch, knowing what to pitch. I share my pitch. I share all my resources that I need in order to get that deal closed, my onboarding procedure, the whole entire thing. We will be able to go from no clients to paid clients and onboarded clients seamlessly. And that is my goal. So if that is interesting to you, I've got links all over my YouTube channel over at Amanda West Grow Your Agency. And it's up in my profile description. It's also down in the description of almost every single video. So feel free to give that a click and we'll see you guys later.